Okay, 10th grade for your colonial essay that I want you to do. I want this to be fun. And I know when you think of essay, the word fun is not what comes automatically to your mind. But I want you to follow these 3 ideas in telling me about your colonial life. There's a variety of ways in which you can pretend that you're doing this. You can pretend like you've gone back in time and you've just emerged as a 21st century person in a colonial era America. And you're seeing all these strange things, the strange things that they're eating, the strange way that their houses are built. You're seeing all these different things. You can do it that way. You can do it like you're telling a story that you're just living in that part of the time period. You can make up a name for yourself, make up friends. I mean, just be creative. Focus on creative. Make it fun. Nobody's going to read it but me. But I will read it, and I'll read every word. And if you want to share it, if it's really good and you want to share it with the rest of the class, we can. I've had some really, really good ones over the years. But what I also want you to do, not just creative, but you also have to be correct. In other words, you have to get some facts. You're eating whortleberry pudding maybe as part of your dinner. The house that you're living in has a thatched roof, and maybe it burns to the ground because that was a very common incident that happens to those homes. Whatever. But you have to have some facts in there. Different things that you're eating, the different ways in which the kids are playing. They're playing mumbledy-peg, or they're playing with hoops, or they're playing marbles. All of those are ways in which they actually played games that they did back then. They had husking bees, where they brought the neighbors in they made a party out of husking out the corn. And they incorporated fun in their work, which they had to do because work was all they had. It took all day long just to do stuff that would enable them to survive. But they made fun out of it, and they were able to do so many different things. So make sure you make it correct and creative, and also make it complete. You need to touch a little bit on all of the different phases. You need to talk a little bit about some of that marrying and burying that we looked at yesterday, about how it was very common for a mother to give birth and her baby and her both to die. And maybe she would be buried with her child in her arms. There's a section in there you were supposed to read about that. Maybe about how they would get married, and they would have a shivaree, and everybody would come out, and they would, make a lot to do about the wedding and about the honeymoon, if you will. A lot of our traditions that we carry over to today, tying those cans at the back of the car, that kind of thing, that comes from colonial days. That comes from some of the chivalry stuff that they did then. So you need to incorporate some of those things in with what type of house did they build, what type of food did they eat. You can incorporate some of the work. You were supposed to read about the rice farmer and the house servant and the wig maker. You don't have to incorporate all of those, but pick one of those and put some things in there about some of the ways in which they would work. So make it complete. Get play and education and work and fun and their housing, and incorporate a little bit of all of that into it. Now this is going to count as a test, okay? So you don't want skimpy. You don't want just bare bones. You don't want just a couple of things here and there and just to slap something on paper. You don't want to do that. I'm giving you the whole week, really. I mean, we worked on it Monday and Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, but I'm putting this on there for tomorrow. So today's Wednesday. I'm taping it on Tuesday, but it's really Wednesday. But be all these things. Be creative, correct, and complete. So don't skimp. Should be easy, should be fun. Make it fun. I'm not going to grade you on how you write. I should be able to read it. You can type it if you want to. And even if you write it and you have a section you don't like, just do that. Just put one line through it. Don't, you don't have to do all of this and that, and just really make a mess out of it. Just put one line through it and keep going. Again, this is kind of like a rough draft too. I mean, we're not gonna come back and rehash it, but don't spend a lot of time in perfection. You can write it like a journal. You can give days to it. You can say like June 1st, this happened, and then by the end of July, we were doing this, and then, by the end of October, this was going on. You can do it like a journal. Some people have done it that way. Some people have done it like a letter. They're writing back to friends in England, maybe. And just tell what's happening and what your friends' names are, and you can make them up. You can incorporate other people in the class. That's always been a real funny essay if you can incorporate some of the other kids, and of course I can tell that that's who they're supposed to be. But now, something too to start thinking about. I'm not going to be real picky about your handwriting yet, but your handwriting should be improving. Okay, you're in school. We want to make this to where you have legible writing habits. And so some of you need to work on that. And the best way to work on that is to practice. It's like anything else. If you struggle with writing, sit when you're watching TV or something and practice. Nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, boys especially tend to have terrible handwriting. Now, some of the boys in your class have great handwriting. Isaac, you have good handwriting. Dylan has good handwriting sometimes. But you need to hone in. You need to work on it. Make it good. Nothing wrong with working on your handwriting. I mean, we're not taking penmanship classes right now, but still yet. Remember, every time you write something, this is a little picture of you. This represents you. Make it good. So think about it. Now that says creative, and I did not mark that out. I was just showing you something. So it should be creative, correct, and complete. If you have a question, message me, text me, whatever. I'll do what I can to help you. But do a good job. You can do a good job on this. It's not due till Friday. If unforeseen things happen, I would extend it even till Monday, and I wouldn't do a penalty. If you want to turn it in hard copy on Monday, that's fine, as long as it's good quality stuff. I want good quality stuff. Okay, so